Okay, so Parkrun's unfortunately been cancelled this morning. As you can see, quite a few people came down for it. But yeah, it's quite a serious police incident, I think, so we can't mess with that, unfortunately. But nonetheless, the guys are ready for a hard 5K effort, so we're going to do it in any case. Let's go, join me. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Okay, so while I give this 5K parkrun a good send, I thought I'd talk through some of my best tips in order to run a faster parkrun or faster 5K. You want to do a sufficient warm-up prior to getting started. So a lot of us roll out of bed on a Saturday morning, trickle over to parkrun, and we're not really warm enough to give parkrun a good send. So for warm-up, you're looking to do around a 10 to 20 minute jog, followed by some dynamic drills. So things like high butt kicks, high knees, crossovers, and then finally some shorter distance strides. So maybe 10 to 15 second strides, 4 sets of that should be good, so that when it comes time to start, the body's nice, warm, and activated. Before you do a running session, I hope you're doing a sufficient amount of warm-up. So before parkrun, as long as you get going around 20 to 30 minutes before for your warm-up and drills, then come that start line, you should be ready to give it a good crack. I won't lie, I found it quite hard to get the legs going today for a couple of reasons. First of which, it's just under 2 weeks since I did an all-out full send marathon at Berlin where I ran 2:19:45. The second reason is, as you can see, the field, it's pretty sludgy today, so it doesn't make for fast running. And the third thing is that, you know what, it wasn't an official parkrun days, and I think, you know, when things are more official, there's marshals, you have a bit more adrenaline, it's easier to push to those higher levels. So I try to give it a good go, but I probably would have found an extra few percent had it been officially on today. Okay, my second tip is, if you're looking for a quicker parkrun time, you need to find a route that is faster for running. Do your research on the route before going to parkrun. Some of the fastest ones I've done in the UK include Dulwich Parkrun, Poole Parkrun, Edinburgh Parkrun, and just recently Battersea has started parkrun for the first time. I have no doubt that's probably going to be the fastest one in the country. I've said this before and I'll say it again, one of the most beautiful things about parkrun is that it's for everybody. If someone wants to go there and give it a good send, that's completely fine. If someone wants to go there and jog with others, that's also completely fine. It is all about the community, and it is by far the best way to start the Saturday morning. What this parkrun concept has done is simply incredible. It's got thousands and thousands of people running across the UK and even globally now, doing these parkruns on a Saturday morning, just encouraging exercise, community, and being a part of something epic. Even though they took away the records, parkrun, we still love you. Now, you might be like me and want to get your best possible time at your local parkrun. So I used to live in Tooting in London. My local parkrun was Tooting Parkrun, and although there were quicker courses around, I really made it a personal challenge to try and get a 5K PB and break sub 70 minutes for 5Ks at Tooting. I have no doubt I would have probably done it sooner had it been in an official race in a faster place. However, I'd almost built a personal relationship with my home parkrun, and I'm sure a lot of people listening will relate. So sometimes it's not always about getting the fastest parkrun time overall, it's about getting the best parkrun time for you on your course. Here I go through the first kilometer in 3:11. Not too bad, getting the legs going again nicely, but the heart rate is sitting nice and low at around 160 beats per minute. And just a reminder, when records were still a thing, I managed to do this parkrun and set the record in 15:15. Guys, that ain't happening today. Okay, on to tip number 3. You want to make sure you're running in the correct running gear, and more specific, the correct running shoes for the course. There are sludgy parts to this course, yes, but in general it's okay for road running shoes. So today I ran in my go-to Pro 3 running shoes. However, in certain parkrun courses in the UK and even worldwide, you might need a pair of trail shoes for more grip, especially as we head into the winter times. If you can, try and do a course recce the day before and check what the conditions are going to be like. That'll give you a much better idea and perspective on exactly what shoes you should be wearing for parkrun. If you're in doubt and you're pretty much 50-50, then my recommendation is you go with the faster pair. I must just say, it's so cool to see, even though parkrun was cancelled for today, there's still so many people that came around, wanted to take part, and just did it in any case. And that's pretty much exactly what it's all about. Okay, on to the next tip we go, and this is all about pacing your parkrun correctly. Now, remember, the way I break it down is the first kilometer is pretty much active warm-up. After around 500 meters in, you want to look at your watch just to make sure you're going off at the correct pace. Avoid looking at it before 500 meters because GPS can get a little bit jumpy. But after that, just make sure you're sort of in the right ballpark. You don't want to let that adrenaline get the better of you at the start. Then kilometer 2 to 3 is all about grind, active grinding. Kilometer 3 to 4, often that's the hardest of them all. I always say give it all you've got in this kilometer, because kilometer 4 to 5, that last kilometer, you can always find something when you can smell the finish line. So just a reminder, kilometer 1 active warm-up, 2 to 3 grind, 3 to 4 give it all you've got, 4 to 5 you can find something in that last kilometer. This is always a tricky part to this parkrun course, especially when it's wet and sludgy like this. But hey, we've got grip again. The legs are muddy already, so who actually cares? You know that feeling where you kind of want to stay dry, but once you hit that first massive puddle, you get muddy, you stop caring, and then you just give it a good go. Please don't run across me, doggy. Please don't. Whew. Thank you, be safe. There are no cones on the course today, obviously. They would usually be on this corner, but we are definitely going around the outside. And they've actually just recently paved this section, so I'm looking forward to coming here when it's an official parkrun on a nice dry day, because this section here has actually gotten a little bit faster. Whenever you see me peeping down like that, it's because I'm having a quick squiz at my watch, and through the second kilometer we go in a metronomic 3:11 once again. Over the course of the next few years, I really want to come around to as many parkruns in the UK as possible, give them a good go, film them, and then speak about them afterwards, and hopefully meet some of the local legends around in the area. So if you've got any recommendations, please pop them in the comments below. I can't promise you that I'll make it there anytime soon. I've got kids commitments and often ballet on a Saturday morning, but I will where I can, and I've heard there's some epic, awesome courses around in the UK. Okay, on to tip number 5, and this is all about accelerating into corners and taking the correct line in the corners. So for a lot of these parkruns, as you can see on that map in the bottom right hand corner, it's a very bendy course. It's a 2-lap course, 200 a little bit, so you end up taking, I don't know, must be about 15 to 16 bends. And if you accelerate into these bends within reason, you're making up 1 to 2 seconds in each bend, which significantly add up at the end of the day. What you want to avoid is sprinting into the bends. We don't want that, but what happens is we tend to slow down on the corners. Just think, aggressively take them, and that way we're making up 1 to 2 seconds each corner. The other thing to mention is that we want to be taking the shortest line where possible. Now, we need to be respectful. Obviously, it's parkrun. At the end of the day, it's not an official race, so often you have to take the outside line and you end up doing a little bit more, and that's completely fine. But where you can, try and take that tiger line, because on these bendy and windy courses like this, often it makes the difference between hitting that goal time or not. There's usually a cone on this corner, so at the moment I'm kind of guesstimating exactly where you should turn, but you'll see when I finish, I actually end up going quite a bit further than the finish line to get to the 5k. So either my watch GPS was unkind to me today, or I ended up cutting short on some of the corners. With all these tips I'm giving out, you're going to start flying past me very soon, and I'm going to try and hang on to you for dear life. But the next tip is all about avoiding spiking that heart rate. So it's not always easy when there's a hilly course or a big bump in the course. Of course, that's going to cause an increase in the heart rate, but where possible, try and look for a gradual increase in the heart rate. If it should remain consistent throughout, naturally as you go along, the heart rate should gradually climb. The more you do these, the better you get at them, and it's by far the most efficient way to race. Avoid spiking, let the heart rate gradually climb until you hit your max towards the end, hopefully. Heading towards the latter part of this unofficial parkrun, and heart rate is also heading towards run 170. We've just hit 170 there, and as you can hear, I'm breathing a lot more heavy, and yeah, we're doing a sufficient amount of work now.
Thanks, buddy.
It's a tough sport, and there ain't no shortcuts. 3rd kilometer, and guess what? We nailed a 3:11 once again. Nice and consistent, and the effort is there, so I can't ask for much more. I guess the real question is, can we maintain another 3:11 for the dreaded 3rd to 4th kilometer? Okay, on to my final tip for parkrun, and this probably isn't one you'd usually hear me say when it comes to a 5k race, of course not, but for parkrun it's a little bit different. If you're on a course that's a double lap or triple lap course, and you know you're going to be doing a whole lot of overtaking in the 2nd or 3rd lap, then it's always a good idea to bank a few seconds on that 1st lap while it's open, while you don't have to do any weaving, because often when you're overtaking people, you're expending a lot more energy than you usually would, and you might lose a few seconds doing that. But please, that doesn't mean by any means go out the gates flying as fast as you can and then hit a wall on the way in. Just bank a few extra seconds in that 1st half if you know you're going to be overtaking people in that 2nd half. Okay, so we pretty much have 1 mile to go, the business end of this unofficial parkrun. I'm going to keep quiet for the rest of this video so you can hear how hard I'm working as the heart rate gradually ramps up towards the end. Hopefully you've learned a lot from today's videos, and once again, if you have an epic parkrun that I must do, please drop it in the comments below. Good luck for your training ahead. Remember, train smart and productive, and don't be scared to snap out of that comfort zone. It hurts for all of us, but it's always worth it. And remember to start Saturday with a parkrun. It's by far the best way to start the weekend. Let's go.
Thank you. Nice, guys. Beauty. Well done, well done. 15:55. Thank you. Okay, still a good workout. 15:55. I thought after that first K, sub 16 today would actually be a good result. A little bit sludgy, grass a bit thick. Obviously been celebrating like an absolute madman the last 2 weeks, and Berlin Marathon was 13 days ago. So yeah, we'll take it. You know what, for me to significantly level up in the marathon distance, it's the shorter stuff I have to get fast and then improve all the way up. So over the winter, we'll definitely be focusing on that. Nice, guys.
Cheers.
How's it going?
It's not too bad.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. No barcode, no result, still epic.